Here we are, and we're back. I tell you what, it's been a little while. We are going to use the international break as an excuse, are we?
Yeah. Holiday time. We've had things to do. You've been ill. I look ill. It's fine.
No, you don't look ill. You look well. I was banging trouble. I'm better now. You know when you've been sick, and then I feel like Steph said to me, like when she watches over old episodes, I'm always saying I'm ill, but I have had this bug that's been going around the island. I've had it 3 times now in 4 weeks. Like it just keeps coming back. Like people keep coming. Like you meet a lot of tourists, and I shake a lot of people's hands and whatever. And then I've now got like a sanitizer in the car, so that when I'm finished, I'm like sanitizing everything. I just was like sickness and diarrhea and flu-like symptoms, aching, like dizziness. I literally couldn't get off my pillow, but I'm all right now. It's gone through the family and everything, but I'm just like, when you're lethargic, like you're drained after being ill.
Yeah, it's just you just got to build your energy back up again, it's just horrible. Yeah. Brother here.
What's been happening with you? You've been playing football?
I have. I've had a couple of games. I've played on my Saturday team, Sunday team. Got my Saturday team their first win in a month. They're bad, but it's fun. The lads are sound. Sunday team, we had a good game on. What was it? Not this Sunday, just gone because it was called off the Sunday before. My first game back in in midfield. I was supposed to say centre midfield, but my brother didn't turn up because he had a heavy night the night before. Cheers, Greg. So I got pushed out right midfield. Just rocking the show. Two assists in the first half. Mate, I tell you what, listen to this. So, right, we're playing this team, right? I'm out right, doing the defensive work because I'm a defender by heart, drifting into the middle to help out. Their left back. But I've now, with 3-0 up, I've got 2 assists and a second assist. We'll call it a second assist because I've got the ball. I could have shot. I laid it to the striker for a tap in. He's played it to the other forward for his hat trick. So I could understand that.
But that's a hockey assist, isn't it?
Well, I'll take it. Chris Chibbs.
Yeah.
He knows he keeps the stats. He knows about second assists. So as I've done that, I've got the ball and I've squared up the fullback, and he's gone, "Oh, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going?" I thought, "What?" I sort of looked at him like, "What?" So as I've gone past him, and I've done a little Zidane roulette against the other guy, but he's ran into the back of me, and the ref's not giving anything. I was like, "Mate, come on!" And the fullback goes, "Yeah, see, you ain't got nothing." Bro, I've set up 2, you're 3-0 down, and I should have had a second assist. Like, mate, what are you talking about? And then second half, he kept trying to get into my head. Like, mate, he's not going to work. And every time I got the ball, all I did, I'd stop, look at him, wait for him to look up at me, and just bang, kick and run. And just because I'm bigger than him and I was faster than him. As soon as I got level, boom, sent him to the shop. Boom, sent him to the shop. And then second half, we changed. I had to go centre midfield because the centre midfielder, he said he weren't really getting much of the ball. He wanted someone who could tackle in there. So he went out right, and the left back said the same thing to him and got in his head. I was like, bro, why are you letting him get in your head? We are 5-0 up. Why are you losing your head with it? Like, mate, just leave it. Leave it. Like, oh, mate, it's just hilarious, but funny at the same time. It was good. No games this week because it's rained off. No, you know it is. But it's nice to be back playing again, and I tell you what, the ball moves so much different right here.
Yeah, you said about that before.
Yeah, bro. It just comes down faster. So when we play, you've seen. I love a clip pass. I like a little clip. Put fizz on it. When we play in Tenerife, I can do a big switch, no problem, and it clears. Here, I'm hitting it. I think, have I underhit that? Like, because it's not dropping over the defender like I normally do. And I think it's just the ball. The ball's just the air or what? It's just heavier. And I'm having to like really nail through balls to get it over the man. I'm like, what is going on there? I'm really forcing it. Like, just, it's mad. When you come over, I'll try and get you again. We'll have a kickabout. We'll see.
Nice. Do you know, it's one thing playing the matches and that. What's it like? You having to go training once or twice a week in that weather?
Well, we were supposed to go training tonight, but it was called off because of the rain. But I tell you what, mate, some of the lads actually watch this. They can be, and this is not a dig, but it is a dig. The training that we did, right? I'm not going to mention which team because I trained for 2 teams, well, 3 teams actually. We went to training, and I kid you not, it was cold, and we were standing about for. It felt like 10 minutes. Well, he explained what we were doing, and it was all static. Like everyone we spoke to was like, "Hold on a minute, all right." So what was set up? It was a crossing drill, right? But you've got the goalkeeper had 2 goals to defend, which made no sense. Yeah, that makes no sense. There's 2 goals next to each other, so instead of moving, it made no sense. There was no defenders, which again made no sense. And you had the left back, probably our only left-footed player, on the right side to cross. Yeah.
What, like back on his what? So what was he left-footed?
He's left-footed. He's
So
probably our
back,
only
but on the
left-footed
right.
player.
So
He's on the
back
right
on his
side.
left and bending it down towards the far post,
No,
like an in-swinger.
no. The
Crossing
workman
with his
was
weak foot.
yeah. So the ball was so. Imagine you're in a triangle. The ball got played to the left part of the triangle. The player who played the first ball ran around the back. He played it to this man and then played it in there, which to me is still the wrong way because you wouldn't do that. You'd play to the man in front of you. You then do the run. You play inside to play at the angle. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not just play it down the line because a defender, I can block a pass down the line. I can't block an angle pass. And it's just like it just made no sense to what we were doing and the situation that we were at. And then we just went into like a 5-a-side game where the idea was keep the ball short. So if you wanted to do a drill to encourage people to keep the ball on the floor, move the ball fast, I would have gone, right, it's 3 touches. 3 touches.
Yeah.
One team, we had one goalkeeper. Right, here's the goalkeeper. You can only score from here. So you're encouraging, I'd have strikers against defenders and midfielders and attacking players. So that the idea was, I want you to get into the habit of shooting from distance and working the keeper. If you miss the target, you go over the side and do 5 push-ups. That's careful planning. And defenders, what we do is keep the ball in your half. If you lose the ball in your half, go do 5 push-ups. If you lose the ball in their half, you're encouraging the risk but reward. You don't do it where you don't need to do it. But then their goal, I'd have 2 cones this side, 2 cones in the middle, 2 cones on the left. All you have to do is pass it through the cone. So you can defend it. You're encouraging that attacking. That's what I would have done as a session. I mean, that sounds fucking great to me at the minute. Like,
Yeah, I know, yeah. It kept it under head height as well.
Yeah, so it's 3 touch, then go to 2 touch, and then go to all in. That's what I would have done. But what we did was, right, anyone caught taking a risk and doing a long ball, you have to go around the pitch. When someone did that, oh, that's your first warning. Then it was never brought up again. I'm like, bro, yeah, how are you expecting? Now, bearing in mind, some of the people we play with are coaches. They're good coaches, apparently. I've done my research. I've got a couple of them. But it's just like, bro, the session could be done so much better. Especially when you're standing about and it's cold, it's wet, you're just shivering. And you just think, come on, you're gonna get
keep
injured.
moving in that weather. You got to keep moving. Yeah, you're gonna get injured otherwise. Things seize up, don't they? You need the old fast twitch muscles firing. But why are they discouraging long passing? I don't mean like an aimless long ball, but a long diagonal or something. I like a long pass.
I think the idea was, and I understood the part of it, but he missed the section. So from what I've seen, we have an issue playing out from the back because we don't have the movement from the middle players. That's what I've seen from playing centre back for them. I've seen, right, the options are not there because I can pass it to you, but you're asking me to pass it between 2 players and fizz it into your feet, and you've got a man behind you because you're not coming in short and then spinning out to take your man so someone else can come and do it because we've got a 6 and then 2 10s. There's not a 6 and an 8, and you're not rotating. Yeah, and that to me is an easy fix. That there's easy drills you can do to fix that. But
so the centre mid's not dropping deep to give you an option on the ball as well as out wide. They're just covering the wingers or the fullbacks and they're blocking that path and there's nowhere to go with it, and you have to clip
so
it up.
They're coming to the ball and they're stood there, and then instead of going right, the pass is not on because there's a man up my arse. Let me drag him left or drag him right to leave the space for someone else to come in. Because what usually happens in them situations, if they've got, say for example, they've got 3 in the middle, their attacking player will follow the first man, their 8 will follow the 8, but their 6 will not want to come from the 6th position to come and get the 10.
In that.
But then when you've got the rotation, we have a player taking their player. You know what I mean? Like when you play someone, I mean, look at basketball when people get double teamed. Oof, that's a different game. But when they get two people
I
marking
remember
them, enough a layman.
great night.
But when you do that, but when you do that, you create the space for someone else. So when I was first playing, like we've done it when we played 5-a-side or 7-a-side on Via Monday. When there's two people marking me, someone else must be free. So look for that other player, and that's what you should be doing the sessions to recognize the space, recognize the issue, because teams will just press against us, and because we don't have the movement, we can't teach them not to press because they've been successful. Where we can't do the clip out wide, the clip into the middle, where they think, well, I'm just chasing shadows. They're just going to pass around there, and we're going to expose them. But because we don't do that session, we don't have that ability in the locker to do with some of the players. This is why I'm looking to go back in centre midfield, because I love a chop for the shoulder. I'm like a poor man's version of Essien.
Poor man's version.
We say Essien from
you
Wish.
got to move. Yeah, Timu Essien. You got to move the pieces. You got to move the pieces, ain't you? And move the players out of position. Well, you got a subject to talk about today, and I don't really know what it is. You're going to spring it on me. What you got? What
So this is from our boy Chris Chibbs, right?
Right. DJ Chibbs, shout out. Right.
So basically, Chibby is a legend of the Tenerife world, and he is going to come on pretty soon. So, first of all, I want to bring up this one. Should you be able to support a team that you're not from, local loyalty or glory supporters? So, give you an example. I am raised in Leicester, right? Technically, I should support Leicester. I support Liverpool. Liverpool's my English team. The reason I support Liverpool is because one day, my brother who supports Man U, he pissed me off one day. So what happened was I started supporting Liverpool just to piss him off. I mean, he won a lot of those league titles, and he probably won overall. But now, this is my time. Now we're giving him. But when you come to stuff like that, where's your mindset? Because you're a local West Ham man. Yeah. Where do you feel about that? Do you think people should support their local team, or do you think no, it's support who you want to support and back who you want to back?
I think in this free world, I think you should be allowed to support who you want to support. And if like I remember you mentioned on another episode that you went over to a reserve game and saw the likes of like David James and whatnot playing for Liverpool, and that that captured your imagination, and you supported them since. And like you're saying there, it's not really. I know Liverpool have always been good, and in the 80s and for a little while up to the Premier League era, like they were smashing it in the 80s, weren't they? And in the 90s was really the Man United era. So you can't really argue that you supported them for the glory, because if you wanted the glory, you'd have jumped on the Man United bandwagon. Yeah. So that kind of dismisses that. But yeah, for me, I respect the fact that you got an affinity with that team. But just how I was raised, I didn't have a choice. Like there was no, I'll choose this team because it annoys my brother or whatever. I was born into it, and you don't choose. I mean, we've seen one third-rate cup, and it is a third-rate European trophy in 44 years. Is all I've seen. Do you know what I mean? So you don't.
Before you poo-poo that, Barcelona or Real Madrid have never won that trophy. That's all I'm saying.
Very true. And when in the first year of its existence, how delighted was Mourinho to have won it with Roma. And he's won the lot, and stuff. So, and up until now, like the English clubs, if everyone says that Premier League team should win it, like Spurs went out of that competition, Villa didn't manage to get it done. Do you know what I mean? All right, they're in the Champions League now, Villa. But I think they're going to struggle to maintain their Premier League form. And if it was that easy, they'd have got to won the Conference League. But for me, it wasn't a choice. For me, it was family ties. For me, it was local loyalty. So I don't really understand. I think, no disrespect, but if you're asking my opinion, I think it's strange when you've got like Ken, our mate Ken. He's a South African lad. He's never beat Liverpool in his fucking life. Why is he so fanatically about Liverpool? How many games has he been to? So is he a supporter or a fan? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how you're from another country. It's like when I see people like English people walking around wearing PSG tops, like you like to collect the kits, so you wear different kits. But when they claim that's my team, like, where is your affinity to a team in Paris? Like not just wearing the kit because you like the kit and you collect them. But actually, there you go, Real Madrid. Yeah, but you're not a Real Madrid supporter, are you?
No,
You just
no.
like the kick. So, yeah, I don't know. Bigger than that is in your own country, like Manchester, like London Reds, like Cockneys who support Manchester United. Never been any further than Watford. Like never been down the M1, but like claim to support Man United and then get a season ticket at the London Stadium because it's cheap, and then don't go for 36 games, only go to the Man United West Ham game and sit in the home end cheering Man United on, but have never been to Old Trafford. I find that weird.
Yeah, that is weird. That is a very strange scenario. The reason I bring that up because Chibi is a Crew fan. So that's what he sent me that today about the West Ham and Newcastle game, and I was like, "That's brilliant! I'm going to use that one. It's class." So, and I'm a big fan of Chibs. He's a good lad, and every week when Crew are playing, I get the same thing. Oh, we didn't deserve to lose, or well deserved win today. And he'll put his goals up, like the goals of like, look at this for a wonder strike, and it's basically a 3-pass tapping. Right, but I love his enthusiasm when it comes to that, and his football knowledge in the lower league is good. He knows a lot, but he just bless his cotton socks. He's the one that said he can't do them volleys in the air.
So I guess he's from that area. He's from Crewe.
Well, I thought he was from Bournemouth,
right?
But does that make a difference that he supports? So I think he was born in Crewe area, but he was then raised in Bournemouth. But would that make a difference if you support a team that's not yours, but they're an unsuccessful team? So say, for example, say you supported Tranmere. Would that be a different view rather than supporting a Premier League team?
No, it makes no sense. Like if he's born around the Crewe area and that was the local team to his family and his heritage, then I really respect that he stayed with them rather than being. I mean, geographically, I don't even know where Crewe's near. What's it near? Where's it near?
Manchester.
Where's the main big? So he could have chose either of the Manchester clubs. He could have chose Liverpool, couldn't he? But
he hates Man U.
Yeah, but so if he's got family ties and was born within, I don't know, 10 miles of the ground or whatever, and he's chose to stay with it, and I respect that so much. Like friends of mine were born in a similar area to me, but they're Leighton Orient, you know, and Leighton Orient, there's no glory around them, but they'll go with 3,000 fans every week and watch them playing in like a mud swamp. And they know everything about that, and that is supporting your local team, supporting your heritage, supporting your family ties. Like I respect that even more if you've got ties to it. Otherwise, football's a game of emotions. I can't understand, like hypothetically, flicking through an annual and picking this team. Like why? You know what I mean? Like why? Where's the heritage? Where's it born from?
See that with me, that comes to a point of the United thing. So I love giving United fans the patter and the banter, right? And there's a few people that are good at giving it back. And the best ones, you've said that, and that's sort of clicked a nerve with what you said. So one of the best Man U fans I love give banter to because they can give it back and they understand it is Richie Hussey. Manchester lad, raised in Tenerife, but he is a Manchester Red. He's a Man Red man. But when I used to speak to, this is why I never used to like a lot of Man U fans. When you used to speak to them, all you get is, oh, yeah, you're Liverpool, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, then you give them a little bit of banter back because I am passionate about Liverpool. Even though we were not great, I'm not from that area, I'm passionate about Liverpool. And one of the reasons why I like Liverpool is I've always liked the sort of Liverpool way. When you speak about the West Ham way, I like the Liverpool way. It's very much entertainment. It's very much towards like the sort of Real Madrid. We can't defend, so we'll just go and attack. That would be it. And that we used to produce players that did that. And then when we could start to defend, we'd still go and attack. Like we've got a right back now who's probably the best attacking fullback in the world. And everyone says how good Trent is, but he's also got on the other side Robertson, who they've both got the same assists in their careers in Premiership. So they're both on 59. So you think we're producing defenders which can attack, and that's my sort of thing. So when I used to have the patter and things with Liverpool fans, Liverpool as a Liverpool fan to Man U fans, you just get the yeah, but we've won this in the last couple of years. Like, yeah, great, yeah, but blah blah blah. Huh, yeah, shut up. Right, that's pathetic. Or yeah, we beat you the last game. Yeah, but and what? And you give them something back, and you go, yeah, shut up. You're not passionate about it. Well,
No.
if I said to you when West Ham were playing Liverpool, we spoke on here and we had a chat about what do you think the game will be, and you were, I've got to support, but you could tell the emotion was there in regards to you wanted West Ham to do well. You were happy if they turned up and they got something out of the game in regards to performance because you wanted it. But really, ideally in your head, you think, yeah, we turn up and roll you 3-0. So yeah, you could tell the passion, but you were a realist as well. And you control your heart was definitely saying, that's all right. If so-and-so turns up and so-and-so turns up, we'll have a chance here. But your head was telling you different. And that's because of the passion part of it. And when you get these people that don't support the club properly, like when I say properly, I mean, like you said, they buy a season ticket, sell 37 games, or 37 games of the tickets, or 36 games of the tickets, and then you go, right, I'll go to the one game I support. Like, come on, you're taking a seat away from someone else who is a genuine fan. Like, come on, that's got to be the definition of it. Like, you're not a fan. You're an enthusiast.
That's what's happening at the London Stadium, because they were the cheapest season tickets in the Premier League for a time. They've bumped them up a little bit now because basically to try to fill that stadium, we've gone from like 35,000 at Upton Park at the bowling ground to 60,000 to 62,000. It's going up to 66, but you've now got a core of maybe 45 to 50,000 West Ham fans. And then you've got close to like 15, 18,000 tourists, people that over from Japan that just want to see where the Olympics were, or people coming over from countries that just want to see a Premier League game. Or like my friend Paul was saying, there's two lads in his office that have got West Ham season tickets, but they're both Chelsea fans. So they bought the season tickets in like band 5 because they were like 250, 300 quid a year or something. And then they just come over for a beer and watch the odd game they fancy. Or when it's like Chelsea at home, they come over and watch that. But the atmosphere is awful in that stadium. And you're getting crowd trouble because the stewards don't care about people even coming in there in the home end, sitting there. We had it last season with Arsenal. We had a load of Arsenal fans in the home end in their Arsenal colours, in their Arsenal tops. I mean, at Upton Park, that would have been trouble. They would have been chucked out and it would have been taken into the fans' own hands. But mate, Gatesy, Gatesy said, look, you've got opposition fans sitting there in team colours, shouting and screaming as the fourth goal goes in, and people are getting more and more irate. And they said, well, as long as they're not breaking the law, we're told to just leave them be. They're paying customers. But now you can't, when you go over West Ham, we're going Monday week, we're going to the Wolves game, taking the Abby and Ronnie. You're telling them over the years about Upton Park and the atmosphere. You're telling them, even though Ronnie was born here, like he supports West Ham because that's his heritage. Like, he doesn't grow up around the area, but it's born in him from me and from my dad and my granddad and stuff. So he knows it all, and he knows all the songs about all the players. But then you get over there and nobody sings other than a really unenthusiastic Bubbles at the beginning. And you try and get a song going, and the day trippers are looking at you like, can you stop singing? I'm trying to watch a game of football while they're on their phone. So it's the soul of it's gone, I think. The soul of it's gone.
In regards to that, would you think it was a mistake for West Ham to take such a big stadium? Would you have preferred to stick to, say, Upton Park, for example, stick to between 35 and 40,000, but make it an actual thing to do? Well, you know what I need to do? I've got to go to a West Ham game. Got to go to a West Ham game. Now, you go to a West Ham. Oh, I went to watch West Ham. Like, yeah, it was good. When really, you want it to be one of those. Why are you overstretching yourself? Let's get 40,000 West Ham fans in there, filling it. And when 5,000 can't go, there is 10,000 West Ham fans willing to go. Not football fans, not West Ham enthusiasts, not West Ham supporters, West Ham fans. Would you prefer that, or do you think the bigger picture is the more bums on seats, the more chance the club can grow its stature for potential for the future?
Mate, I hate the new stadium, and I think the 90% of West Ham fans, if they could wave a magic wand, would go back to the Napoleon, and lots of us didn't want to go. We were due into it under false pretenses, and I'll tell you who we need to get on as a guest on this subject who is a fountain of knowledge, and that's my friend Nigel Calm, who you can find on more than just a podcast and various other things. He's always guested because he was basically one man and his dog protested against the move. He was going handing out flyers and people just couldn't understand what he was saying. And he was saying at the time, I've seen the drawings. I know the site. I've worked around that area. I've lived around this area all my life. You're going to be so far away from the pitch. It's unbelievable. Don't listen to what they're telling you. And then there's Gold going out saying the seats will be just as close as Upton Park. It'll be no further, otherwise we won't move. And he knew it was bollocks. It was bullshit. Yeah. And they told us under false pretenses about we're going to get more people. They've killed the atmosphere. It's not a football stadium. Like Everton will be moving to their stadium next year. They've designed an effigy of Goodison Park that's going to feel like the history's there. And of course, you'll move into an empty vessel, but it's going to be Everton-ified, if you know what I mean. It's going to feel like there's going to be statues of previous players and there's going to be blues, things everywhere. West Ham's just a soulless bowl. It's an athletic stadium. It's not fit for purpose. It was a prefab stadium that was made for the Olympics that wasn't built for the 99-year lease. The seats at the top, it was meant to come down to like 10 or 20,000 after the Olympics. And yet we've kept the temporary seating up. Now the roof's falling apart and that temporary seating needs changing, you know, and we're locked into a 99-year lease because the chairman, the owners, Brady and Gold and Sullivan, got the deal with a century on it, like $2 billion a year or something. But we don't have the rights over the stewarding. We don't have the rights over renting it out for concerts or, you know, other things like Spurs do, that lot over North London. You know, we don't have the right to price the beer food. A separate catering company, Delaware North, have come in and just priced the beers at like £8.5, £7.5 for like simple beers. Like a beer and a hot dog's like £20. It's like ridiculous, and we don't have control over that, and we don't take the revenue from that. So people would argue 3 years in a row in Europe and a European Cup. I'm sorry. Moyes seems to think he's the only one that's won us a cup. We've won trophies in the past. Do you know what I mean? We've won the Cup Winners' Cup. You know, we've had the 75 and 76 seasons where we've had silverware and got in a final. We won the FA Cup in 1980. 1985, we were 2 games away from winning the league, 85, 86, you know, and finished third. We finished 6th and 7th under Redknapp. We've done it before. When we talk about 3 years in Europe under this stadium, there's no more money going into it. It works out about an extra 2 to 5 million a year in revenue by having those extra seats, by the way, because of the price of the tickets, because it's affordable football to fill the stadium. The season tickets and the tickets are sold out every week, but the ground is not to capacity with bums on seats. There's normally 10, 12,000 empty seats sitting there. And the ones that are full, you can't get any atmosphere going. We only got in Europe for 3 years running because they changed the goalposts to what Europe is. European places now, if a top 16 wins one of the league, one of the cups, the domestic cups, European football goes down to 8th. There's 20 teams in the league. That's over a third of the Premier League teams now qualified for Europe. Yeah, so we were more than capable of winning a third-rate European trophy that you only needed to come 7th or 8th to qualify for. We'd have qualified for it several times in the old place. And, we've done a wrong one. We've done a wrong one moving it at that stadium. It's a soulless bowl. The only thing, the football doesn't remain. The West Ham way doesn't remain. The supporters are not the same. And you haven't got the old school core there anymore. The way we're run now, the badge has changed. We're run like a business. We're not called supporters. Brady calls us customers. And it's all about squeezing every drop out of you. The soul is gone from the club. The only thing that remains is we've still got the same team colours. But you know what'll happen? Red Bull or someone will come in and buy us, and we'll be Red Bull Stratford, and we'll play in red and white. So, yeah, it was a wrong one. It was a wrong one.
That leads us nicely on to the next point I wanted to bring you to. How important are the fans? Because from what you're saying, I don't know why that offended me so much when you said that Brady calls you customers. We're not customers. We are fans of your club. Customers visit you for you entertainers. You come, we watch a game of football, we piss off. If we are fans, we support the club through everything. That is everything with chatting, podcasts, talking. You've got the supporters club. You've got supporting anything outside of West Ham, supporting the youth team, supporting everything like that. You support the club as a system. Now, by you calling me a customer, I don't support McDonald's. I'm a McDonald's customer.
No.
They're two completely different things. So to do that, to me, as a customer, I would not say to my kids, listen, come on, McDonald's, you need to back up McDonald's, you need to back them. Different. If you're telling me a customer, why the hell are you pushing, or have been pushed by your granddad or your dad, and then you're pushing right into it? Not pushing, but you're leading him up there. Because I know your girls love the football as well. So your girls will all love the football as well. Steph's secret there is she's a West Ham fan. You might not know, but she's a West Ham fan. She didn't have a choice. But it's so as you don't do that if you're a customer. You do that as a fan. So for you to look at me and think you are not a fan, when you said it, that instantly offended me, and I'm not even a West Ham fan. So to me, do you think that your club, not your club, your club's owners and hierarchy have lost the sight of what football is?
Yes. Yeah, it's a business to them. We've lost our identity. And like you said about the kids, I try to raise them ingrained in that. We like to keep the old East London values, right? You know, some people might not like. I know that a lot of Northerners are lovely and are great with me. A lot of them don't like Cockneys or don't like Southerners. And, you know, we swear a lot and whatnot. And there is a North-South divide that I've definitely found living here in Tenerife, for sure, right? But I am proud of my roots, the old London ways, because London wasn't like it is now when I grew up. You looked out for people. You didn't steal off your own. You didn't steal at all, but you didn't steal off your own. You helped out the old girl down the road, made sure that she was warm and she had heating and she had groceries. You helped people across the road. You had values. You said good morning. There was a community old London spirit, like they came from the Blitz and everything, when everyone had to pull together. Like that was the old London, old school ways where you were decent people. You know what I mean? Where you were decent with each other. And I know that exists in other parts of the country and the world, but I'm trying to raise my kids to have those, what we call, forget geography, old school values, right?
Yeah.
So have your manners, mind your P's and Q's. You know, you don't speak like that to your elders. Don't swear in front of a lady, which I fail at. But, you know, you think things that you try to adopt. But when it comes to our club, all of those roots have gone, really. It's just some of the people that help it, just a flicker of life left, because they've killed all that. In answer to your question, it's the community and it's the fans and it's the people that make the club. Otherwise, you have a team. You have a football team. And Brady says exactly that. She says, well, we're the club. We're custodians of the club. In other words, like, we're its adopted parents for the time being, right? And you are the customers. And it is really offensive. And when they change the badge, like, we're East London, right? We're East London. There's a rivalry between East London and South London and East London and North London. We're not London, we're East London. They removed that from the badge and changed the badge, and it was West Ham London, because London and not East was more brandable. You know, that's selling your soul, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I expect from American owners. You know, when they move teams and stuff. So this is sort of like they're trying to have it like a franchise. So when I grew up, they had the Oakland Raiders and stuff like that, and then they moved. So I mean, you could look at MK Dons and you got FC Wimbledon. That's, to me, it's a sneaky way of buying a club and moving it to where you want it. And I don't get that. If you wanted to do that, I tell you what I'd probably say, go and do it. Go and build your own club, right? And you can do what the hell you want with it. And when you don't get the fans or support because you're not investing in that, you'll learn the lesson. Like, that's what I would look at. But that's crazy to have that sort of mind. I mean, I know most top clubs at the minute, they've got owners similar. So you've got, like, Man U have had the issue with the Glazers, even though I don't think the Glazers are as bad as Man U fans are making it out to be. But yeah, Liverpool, we've had Fenway, but Fenway have been good for most of the part. But before that, we had Gillette and Hicks. Jesus Christ, just wanted to strip the club and just Americanize it. Right, we'll do this, we'll sell that, we'll sell this. I mean, come on. I mean, one of the things I could say with like Fenway, for example, when they do make a mistake, they do rectify it quite quickly. When they tried to trademark the Liverpool name, the backlash was there, and they literally went, "Listen, sound done, dropped it, no issue." So when you say that, I just think that is absolute crazy especially because you imagine like even taking the 96 off the Liverpool, the thing we have on the back of the crest at the back. That's there for a reason. Leave it alone, and then to change it because it's not marketable. Surely, you could. To me, you should be marketing more because you're exclusive.
Your roots, your identity.
Yeah, that's you. It doesn't matter if you might. I mean, could you imagine someone from, say, like they were born in, I don't know, say they were born in Tottenham, but identify as East London. You know what I mean? So like,
I mean, you bring up a good point with the Wimbledon thing. Imagine being a local lad born in Wimbledon or around that area, grown up with it. You support Wimbledon. You've seen the history. You've gone through the 80s, the cup. It was, sore spot for you, but the cup final, and then the years of the crazy game. And somebody picks up your team and moves it 2.5 hours away to just below the Midlands.
To Milton Keynes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's crazy. And just coming back to the thing about the stadium, we were lied to. I mean, I don't want to make us liable, but a few shady things went on there. So we were always told that we couldn't expand the stadium because of the bus station on the Barking Road, and that we couldn't build because the bus station then went. And it turns out we could have had the all-seater, they call it all-seater stadium, up to 50,000. In the ground converted, and you'd have had 50,000 mad West Ham fanatics. And it was, look, I'm not going to look that all misty-eyed like every game was a fantastic atmosphere, because there were some damn squibs like there was at any team. But on the whole, the atmosphere, like you can go and Google, like, I mean, take the last, like you'll be able to Google now, because I've showed Ronnie, like Upton Park, the bowling ground, West Ham singing Bubbles. Like it would, even as a neutral, like it would make your hair stand on end, because they cut the music and everyone was like, "Fortune's always hiding," and the way it reverberated around that stadium, you know what I mean? It made you feel like alive. Do you know what I mean? Like it did, and now it's just so dead and lethargic. And we could have done that. And then again, I won't say too much, but a development company came in and bought the bowling ground Upton Park for so much less than you would expect.
Really?
Then another company that was to do with Sullivan, but in a different name, then did something called back-to-backing it. And what back-to-backing is, it's I buy a bar, and the same day I sell it on to you for more. I flip it for profit. I buy a bar for 100 grand, but you're willing to pay 170. So I pay the solicitor to do 2 contracts, and I back-to-back it and make 70 grand in a day. Right, so Sullivan and these cronies sold it for a ridiculous amount, then made money selling it on to developers. And they developed it and literally blew it up, built flats on it, and now we've got no home. You know what I mean? It's like, and then got the London Stadium. And what he's doing is he refused. They tried to the Newham Council and the LLDC, which is the London Legacy Committee for the Olympic Committee that own the stadium. They've tried to renegotiate the contract because they've said it's a ridiculous deal and it's not sustainable. The borough of Newham, it was passed by Boris Johnson. The borough of Newham, it's costing between 20 and 30 million a year to keep that stadium open and sustain it. And they're saying to West Ham, "Can you supplement this because you've moved in?" And they're going, "No, we've had to deal with a century, 2 million a year." I think it's up to like 3 or 4 now. I might raise to 5. But it's literally a white elephant that's costing the borough money, and it's coming out of the Prime Minister's budget every year. But we're on a 99-year lease contract, so why would we pay more for it? But then now they won't do any of the work when the roof's falling down. They won't do anything for it. So what our chairman is trying to do is get it to the point where it's not sustainable, that they actually give us the stadium and say, "Well, this is bleeding too much money, just take it." And that was always a plan. And he tried to do that first when he owned Birmingham. The Olympics was originally, there was a bid for Birmingham and he had it at St Andrews. He was going to sell Birmingham's ground at St Andrews and then get the Olympic Stadium in Birmingham. make a profit to developers by selling their home and move into the Olympic Stadium. And then, of course, we are in trouble after the older Icelandic bankers group that went bust. He came in like a hero and was saying, basically, I saved you from administration. But his plan all along was move into that stadium and sell on the ground to developers. Ripped us out of our home and history.
So, looking at it then, do you think that maybe the German model of the 51-49 ownership is the way forward? Because obviously, if you were, say you're part of that 51% and you part own running the club and you have people that do it, like, I mean, we could do this in another episode. What's the best structure? Is it the presidency that the Spanish ones do, or is it the Germans, or what we have in England, for example, now? But looking at that then, so would you be able to stop that? Do you think, I mean, obviously, because you said there was only one person going around just saying, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Do you think that maybe would the majority of the fans fell into that trap and this would still have happened? Or do you think maybe they would have been had to be a bit more clear and concise? Or maybe would that have stopped the back-to-back sale that he said?
Yeah, I think we were sold a dream. A lot of us fans were duped because, those old school football grounds like Upton Park, like it was in a bit of disrepair, really. It did need updating. It was a bit of a shithole, but it was our shithole. I don't mean that offence to any other West Ham fans, but it was, it needed. Like Goodison. You know what I mean? Like, it's a great old ground and it's full of memories and history and it's a proper ground, but it also, you're going to move into this shiny new stadium. I would just say to people like the Toffees, like, be approached with caution. You know what I mean? Like, make sure it's not a clinical and they whitewash away all your history. And from the plans I've seen, it looks great. But it was just like, there's two schools of thought on both of them questions there. Like, I like the German model, where it's like 51% because it's owned by the people for the people, right? Whereas the Spanish style system with the president's more of a dictatorship, isn't it? And if you get like presidents like the fella that was like assembling the Galacticos, like he wasn't bothered about the money or the future of the club or whatever. But the problem with the German model, it has its, we'll do it in an episode, it has its pluses. Who gets the final say? Because sometimes the old too many cooks spoil the broth. Like, I think the best example of that is a camel is a horse designed by committee.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody wants their say, he should have this, he should have that. I'll give it a hump, give it two. You know what I mean? And it ends up being something else. And it's like nobody agrees on it then. So that's maybe an episode on its own. But we were sold a pup. We were sold a dream. And they're on record saying it, Brady again. You can go and see her saying, we're going to move forward. It's going to be the cheapest ticket. It's going to be affordable football so that people that can't get all these tickets will be able to take their kids and future generation. It's going to be a world-class team in a world-class stadium. And this stadium will allow for us within 5 years to be regularly in the Champions League. Where's that? Where's the world-class stadium? Where's the world-class team? Where's the 5-year plan? There was also a 30-point plan of bullet points. We'll go through it on another episode. Bullshit. We were joked. We were sold a dream.
Playing the devil's avocado around here.
Yeah, go on, mate.
Has she not offered the success? You've won a European trophy that some of the biggest clubs in Europe have failed, not been in it, have failed to win it. You've won these trophies. You've got some fantastic players, which some of the top clubs in the world are interested in. Barcelona were looking at Todibo, you drew him in. Areola was at PSG. Paqueta has been talked about with West Ham. You've lost Declan Rice to Arsenal. You've got top players at the club. You're now not in any threat of relegation. You're not playing the attractive football, but you're in a position to attract star players still if the money's there. Has she delivered on what she said? Just the way she did it is wrong.
No, so there's a few points addressed there. The first one about attracting the players, that's just the money in the Premier League. You know, take Todibo, your first example. Like, they put an offer on the table and Juventus and the Italian league couldn't match anywhere near what we could pay, neither for transfer nor for wages. Yeah, that's the first thing. Second of all, we've won a higher caliber European trophy than that at Upton Park. You know what I mean? We've won FA Cups in the past. We've won a European trophy, a European Cup Winners' Cup. We've won higher calibers of trophy, Upton Park. And in terms of attracting players, we're in the Premier League. We pay well. We're in London, the nation's capital. Let's not forget, we managed to draw Ballon d'Or nominated Dimitri Payet at the Bowling Ground and had him at Upton Park. We've had players such as Di Canio, haven't we? Rice, who you referenced, came through our academy. Once upon a time, we were the Academy of Football. Our players walk over a badge as they run out the tunnel that says the Academy of Football. For the first time in 20 plus years, we've not got a single academy graduate or homegrown player in our first team squad. Yet, last year we won the Youth League and Cup double. We won the FA Youth Cup and pissed the league, right? Arsenal have now got 5 players in their first team squad from that team that we beat 5-1 in the cup final. We don't have a single player in our squad. Last year in the what cup was it Liverpool won? Was it League Cup? No,
League
that
Cup.
was Man United.
No,
League Cup.
Yeah,
FA
because
Cup.
Man U won the FA Cup. They beat Man City in the final.
What year did you season before you won it under Klopp, and you had 5 of your youth team players from the same year group in the final appear? We're not the Academy of Football anymore. You know, so and the only reason that we had a player like Rice was because that was the last one to come through the conveyor belt, and we sold him for 105 million, which is pure profit because he's come from the academy.
See, that's the scary thought, to think that Arsenal have put in players from that youth team and they're in and around the first team squad, and you'll probably admit this is not an offence, with a better caliber of player around them. I mean, league positions don't lie.
Absolutely.
So surely, if these players, right? So this is how I look at it. If that's the level that the Arsenal players played at, they got to the FA Cup final, got dicked by West Ham. So West Ham have got to be here.
Yeah.
But so if these 5 of these players can jump to there, why can't the West Ham players jump to here?
And zero of those West Ham youth players even train with the first team squad.
Right. So that's, to me, that is ridiculous. Because we've spoke a few times, because I started a football manager career with West Ham, and I was like, who's this Earther? He keeps getting man of the match in my youth team. Like, he's brilliant. You said what a player he is. And then you named a couple of others. Like, yeah, he's popped up. He's got out on loan. He's playing so-and-so. I keep getting good reports on them. And I just think, well, surely if you have these players, why are you not now, especially when you've got, like, as you've said, you've got an aging squad. You've had to go out and buy players. You got the Brazilian player who can't even get a reserve team game. Like, that's ridiculous. You spend that sort of money on a player that can't play. Like, ridiculous.
And we've got an immobile midfield. We're Donut FC. There's nothing in the middle. And yet Lewis Orford is in the youth team. He's the under-19s England captain. He's
but
brilliant.
Can't get a sniff around there. So
can't even sit on the bench. Doesn't even come and train with the first team squad. Hasn't even Lopetegui's not even got another look at him. And our director of football, Tim Starton, hasn't been down once to watch a youth team game.
So looking at that, then, so obviously we had the conversation. So there's obviously the game to. Don't know when we're going to put this out, but there's a game, Newcastle West Ham. Would you think that Lopetegui is under pressure because of results, or because he is not following up the resources that he has? He's coming in and going, right, I am from, this is how I want to do, this is the players I want to bring in. That wasn't a Spanish accent there, was it? This is how I want to play, this is how I want to do it, rather than, this is the club I'm coming into, this is how they work, let me do my thing in this way to get the best. So, I mean, could you imagine the difference? Would you be more inclined to be, I know I'm throwing a lot here at you, but would you be more inclined to be more supportive of Lopetegui if you were then looking and think, right, well, we've got 6 of our youth players that are coming through who are looking good. They're training with the first team. They're on the bench. They're coming on for games. They're there to do certain things. When you've got, like you've said, immobile midfield, you can bring on these players. Yeah, they might not be physically as dominant as Souček or Edison Alvarez, but why can't they work together? Why can't they do the dirty work for these players to then roll them with the ball? I mean, Makelele made a career out of doing the dirty work and giving it to someone better and letting them do it. So why can't Lopetegui do that?
We've got Rodriguez on a free that runs backwards that I would fancy beating in a foot race, right?
I've seen that, and you did well.
And we've got Freddie Potts, son of club legend Steve Potts. Freddie Potts, out on loan last year, smashed it, was League One Player of the Year. He's gone out to a championship club this year at Portsmouth. He is absolutely smashing it as a CDM. He runs and plays the ball just like Declan Rice, because he spent a lot of time with him and modelled his game on it. He's basically the next Declan Rice coming through the conveyor belt. And in the meantime, Alvarez has been suspended and injured and wanted out. And we're playing Rodriguez, and we've sent Potts out on loan, not brought him back to get a game. In answer to your question, what you said, the problem is from the top down, right? The argument for Lopetegui was he's been under 17s, under 18, under 19s Spanish coach. So you'd think that he would breed and bleed the youth into the team. Again, he's yet to do it. He's not played a single person. Guilherme, the under-18s lad from Brazil, has played 8 minutes so far. There's a problem with our owners, our chairman. We could have had Amorim. Amorim flew over and had a private meeting with Sullivan and said, me and my backroom staff have cost 8.5 million. We'll come and do it. This player's too old, that player's too old. I need an overhaul. I need this much money. Sullivan refused and said it was too risky. Wouldn't spend the 8.5 million. Then went and gave Lopetegui 150 million to spend. Well, actually, Stuyton, the director of football, Stuyton has gone out and spent 25, increasing to 30 million on the Brazilian kid we spoke about, has played 80 million. We then couldn't bridge the gap between a 5 million disparity with Aston Villa and missed out on John Duran and went and bought 27 million Fulkrug, who's now injured long term, who's had the worst history record. He's missed pretty much 3 of the last 4 seasons. Has an Achilles problem, an ACL problem, a lower back problem, has missed 251 games, league games, since 2019. And now he's missing in action and no one knows when he's coming back. They can spunk that money, but won't pay 8.5 Amorim. We spoke about it before, and you featured on the West Ham Hammers Chat Patreon podcast where we were saying, and I was saying months ago and no one could see it, the players you bought were good players, but they don't fit a style and we don't have an ethos. And I've gone over and over it. Wan-Bissaka, good defensive player, not a wing-back. Lopetegui plays with high full-backs like wing-backs and there's space behind. When we previewed the Liverpool game, I said I was terrified of what you would do to us getting behind our wing-back and the hole in the middle and splitting our defenders and having like an auxiliary centre-back. It didn't work at all. We got rinsed against Chelsea when he put Alvarez on to try to mark Julian Jackson, who's lightning. Based. Do you know what I mean? Not Julian Jackson, Nicholas Jackson. And Julian Jackson's a boxer. Yeah, Julian Jackson. I was watching Julian Jackson's a boxer. What power he had at one point. So there's a disconnect between the owner who went for the option of the manager who was out of work and went for the free manager, right? And gave him a 2 deal on not great money instead of going and get a manager. He's got a director of football in there. There's never been a director of football before. Everybody seems to think that Tim Stuyton was the brains behind building the Leverkusen team and getting players like Florian Wirtz and Frimpong and Boniface. No, that was Simon Rolfes. Tim Stuyton was a scout. Tim Stuyton is as qualified to run the football club as Mark Noble is, who's just retired. They both got the same experience. The manager won't use the youth. He's now been given players. Sullivan signed 3 of the players. Stuyton signed 3 of the players. Lopetegui signed 3 of the players. So who's leading the dance here? Now you've got a disconnected squad and none of the pawns for Lopetegui to play his style of play. He's still trying to play it regardless, and it doesn't fit. You know, he wants fullbacks that cross, and Fulkrug's injured, and that doesn't work. It's just, honestly, the problem is from the top down. We're rotten from the top to the bottom, and we will, if we... The other question you asked is his job on the line? I think there's rumours from inside the club. If he doesn't get a result against Newcastle or Arsenal, then he'll be off. But you know what? Sullivan will then just go fishing in the old petrol station DVD market for whoever's free. And it's even, it's arguably even worse. We spoke to people like Marco Silva and they want 9 million for him. You've
Great
spunked.
manager. Great manager.
And you know we could do it in the Premier League. You've spunked nearly 60 million on players that you're not playing. Why won't you spend 9 on getting a good manager who's arguably the most important part of the machine? So yeah, we're in
Well,
trouble. We're going to lose tonight against Newcastle. We're going to lose against Arsenal. Then
I'll
we've
throw
got
you one out
Leicester.
there. I'm going to throw
Yeah,
you one
go
out
on.
there that's from unconfirmed people that I know, right? That these are the same people that gave us, yesterday, they told me about Steve Cooper getting sacked before it was announced, right? These are the same sort of
Yep.
people. Apparently, so Leicester apparently are going to get Darren Potter, apparently.
Right.
That'd be a great deal for Leicester. This
Yep.
one is what I heard, and it does make sense from what he said. Not January, sorry, end of the season. So if Lopetegui lasts to the end of the season, he'll go. This is what I've heard. This is why I didn't tell you before. I waited to want to see your reaction. So Lopetegui, if he lasts the season, he'll go. As long as West Ham are not in any relegation danger, he'll stay until the end of the season. Right?
I agree so far.
The rumor, I'm just looking at the message now. The rumor I was told is Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, so I've heard that, but Sullivan ain't keen on him, on his personality. And the thing is, do you know, I'd quite welcome a manager with a bit of charisma, in the headlines, but it would be the Mourinho show. He'd come in. We may even win a League Cup or something, but he'll split the dressing room and leave after 2 years and leave the club in total disarray, worse than it is now.
But Willa, because in his history, if you watch, when you say split the dressing room, a lot of players love him.
Yeah.
More love him than hate him. And especially as he's winning. So if you had Mourinho for 2 years, say he brought in his style of play, yeah, Mourinho's style of play is not the most attractive to look at, right? But it's
And that is a
effective.
big thing for the West Ham fans.
Yeah, but he's also happy to put youth players in.
Yeah.
He's happy to do that. And don't forget, I say that it's not pretty to look at. I say that because we're thinking of the last few teams he had. Real Madrid were a good watch. Chelsea were a good watch. It was more, even at Spurs were a good watch. When, I know you probably didn't see much of it, when he was there, there were just certain teams he would chop shop and play a certain way because Mourinho is a horses for courses man. Yeah, because he took Inter Milan and won a treble. And he beat Barcelona. He took this all conquering Barcelona team that everyone raves about and smashed them with players like Arbeloa. You know what I mean? He took titles off the great Guardiola. So
I'd take him for now, but that's the situation we're in where people are saying, would you take him or him? Would you have Lopetegui or him? But the options we're getting, the bar's so low, it's like, would you rather shit yourself or piss yourself? Like, would you rather be sick on yourself or shit your pants? That's the options you're getting. I'd take him for now. I just think the direction we need to be in with those youth players that are arguably the most talented in the country, with the budget we've got, with some of the players we've got, we need a manager who's on the way up in his career and not on the ascendancy, having seen his glory. Then the other one that we spoke about behind the scenes that not many people know about was Allegri, the ex-Juventus manager. It's told him who doesn't want to risk his reputation now, but he'd come in next season. I don't know how I feel about that. He's very defensive as well.
Yeah.
He's a winner.
There's two more that I've heard as well. There's also the one with Mourinho. One of the reasons why they're leaning, the Mourinho thing is catching fire, is Lampard. Lampard will go to Coventry for a year to the end of the season and then join as part of Mourinho's backroom staff and will take over from Mourinho after 2 years. All goes well. Now, Lampard has got a reputation for bringing in youth. I just don't think he's a good manager.
No, I don't think he is. And there's a fractious relationship between West Ham and Lampard.
With the Chelsea thing, yeah.
Yeah, and the way he left. And I never understood it. A lot of West Ham fans give him a load of shit. And back then, a lot of them were saying, oh, you're only playing because of who your dad is and because the manager's your uncle. And then he went on to break records. So, but then he was, a bit nasty about West Ham when he went.
Well, it's the old. See, the thing that bothers me about Lampard, he sees himself is ex Chelsea, he's not ex West Ham, and that's the same reason why
Joe Cole does that.
It's the same reason why a lot of Liverpool fans don't like Michael Owen, because he's ex United. He's not ex Liverpool. He says, "I'm an ex Man United player." No, you're ex Liverpool. Yeah, we brought you through. We gave you a chance. It's ridiculous. So, and the other one that I heard, you said Allegri, the Italian manager. I heard Inzaghi.
Oh, really? I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, I heard Inzaghi. Inzaghi does bring youth players in. He adapts his way of playing, and he's playing really good football. Don't know how true that would be, but I think that might be a risky one. But
is he in a job?
Yeah, he's in. I want to say Barry, but I don't think it's right. I don't think he is at Barry, but he's doing well. He's playing attacking football. I know there was talk of before he went to Juve of Thiago Motta, and I thought that would have been a
Yeah,
great deal.
the trouble with Sullivan is there's no chance he'll pay compensation to get anyone out of a job. What someone who is available at the moment on like the free list, so to speak, out of work is Conceição. So there's been talk of that.
Difficult. See, I always
I
think
don't
it's
know much about
difficult
it.
when you've got a good reputation as a player. I think it's difficult. I think the best managers are not the best players.
Well, Lampard, Gerrard,
Yeah,
Rooney,
yeah.
arguably.
I think that's always
Well,
the
it's going to
issue.
be a funny old thing. Right, come
Yeah.
on, give us a. I want to go and watch the build up to the game. So give us a who am I?
Right. So we're going to do
Who
it
am I?
a new way for you.
Go on.
You've got 6 clues, right? I'll give you the first one for free. You then guess. The first one here is easy for you to get, to give you an idea. The more clues you need, the less points you get. Okay? So pick a number
Got it.
1 to 6.
5.
5. Born in a historic city of Rome, his playing career began with the local giants of Italian football.
Right. Okay.
Any
So it's a
ideas?
player that played. Hey,
Any ideas yet?
Francesco Totti.
Not Francesco Totti. Right. Pick a number 1 to 6. 5 is gone.
3.
Number 3. Oh, this might give it away. This is the easy one. Turned his passion for the game into a managerial career, taking the helm at Swindon Town and Sunderland.
Paolo Di Canio.
Paolo Di
That was who I
Canio.
was going to guess first because I thought it's either Roma or Lazio. So I nearly
Yeah,
went for Di Canio, but I thought Totti was more of a legend, like more obvious.
yeah,
So
that
Di
gangster.
Canio, no.
Well, I did an easy one for you, just to get you an idea. Right. So that's how we're going to play the game. That would have given you 4 points. Right. Okay.
Got it.
This is how we're going to play. Right. Next week, I'll
Right.
let you do one for me. There is 7 clues for this one.
Yep.
Pick a number 1 to 7.
2.
Number 2, a technically gifted player who could play multiple offensive positions. He was nicknamed the Divine Ponytail.
Michael Levy.
No, close,
Right.
but no, it's not Michael Lever.
The divine ponytail. Ibrahimovic.
It's not Zlatan. Okay, for 6 points, give me a number. You can go 1 to 6 this time. I'll just skip that one out.
4.
Number 4 is converted to Buddhism in 1985 and became a goodwill ambassador for the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations.
Cheers for that one.
I never knew that about him, to be fair.
Roberto Baggio.
Roberto Baggio, it is. I didn't get it on Buddhism. It was the ponytail, wasn't it? The divine ponytail.
Yeah.
The other clues that you could have got were this Italian
Did I do
legend.
all right then?
Smashed it. So the other clues you could have had: this Italian legend, known for his iconic ponytail, played for clubs like Fiorentina, Juventus, and Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Scored in 3 World Cups, making him the only Italian to achieve this feat.
Sky the penalty.
Yeah, he did. Authorized an autobiography titled Una porta nel cielo, a goal in the sky. Sorry, Marco, if I said that wrong. Terrible Italian. Won 2 Serie A titles, a Coppa Italia and a UEFA Cup during his illustrious career. And known for his calmness under pressure, he was once described as having ice in his veins.
Mate, that is a great game. That is a great game.
Smash that,
And next episode, I think so. Next episode, we're definitely going to have to do a Don't Get Me Started because I've missed that.
Oh, I had
sure.
that ready, but we'll call it today.
Yeah. Mate, great episode.
We've had a little rant about the West Ham hierarchy and stuff like that, but we'll definitely get on that.
It's been cathartic. I could speak all day on him. I don't know how interesting it is for everyone else. I would imagine as general football fans, it's not, people would understand that it's
a nice
selling the
insight.
soul of your club.
Yeah, it's an insight to see the other side. So if, as a Liverpool fan, I see we could quite easily have gone that route with Hicks and Gillette. And luckily enough, it was stopped and Fenway came in and the rest, as they say, with Rodgers and his history. But you could see it quite. I mean, it could have gone that route with United, with the Glazers. I mean, Kroenke at Arsenal. If it hadn't worked with the Saudis, you could easily see it there. You could easily see people losing interest. And when we speak about the ownership thing, there's a thing going around in apparently from Hollywood that a lot of celebrities and Hollywood actors are looking to buy football clubs in the league EFL because of the Wrexham thing. So that was something we
Reynolds,
can talk about. Yeah,
mate, there's loads of subjects to talk about. I'm glad we're back. I think it's been another interesting episode we've had a chat about. Like and subscribe, get involved in the comments, get involved in the conversation. Tell us what you think. We're going to upload this to all the usual channels for podcasts. And until next time, we'll see you on
opinions from offside.
Thanks for having us, everyone. Keep falling.